Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Racing Bros NASCAR Podcast, episode 40. Yeah, we're back. We didn't die. We brought another feller onto here. His name is Michael Doss. He is a good friend of ours. Doss, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Not bad. Could be better. It is raining right now. I'm just looking at rain through my window. Just like right there. It's just like rain. It makes me sad because I hate rain. Rain is like an overrated fucking weather. I don't get why people like rain. It makes you wet. It's soggy.
I think listening to the rain people find pretty fun.
They do. But then there's weird people that's like, I like puddles, and they all like jump in puddles. I'm like, I don't want to get my socks wet. But we also have Post Malone with us as well. As you see on Discord. I'm kidding. Brian Velez, co-host. How are you doing today, Brian?
I'm good. Glad to be back.
Yeah, we took like a month off because you know we had to do so much time off and reflection about what we did. We were so tired. We couldn't write down those like 7 notes we would have per race. It was just too tiring for our little hands. So we just decided not to do it now. It just We just were taking a month off, just get a break, because we did it for 39 straight weeks, which was a lot. Oh, wait, we did miss 1 week. We did, and then we had to do a double one. So I guess, however many weeks.
Well, yeah, it was that Daytona week, the week you went out to Daytona, right?
Yeah, that's when I went. When I actually didn't go to the race, I just went to the track and looked at it. I just looked at it and touched it with my hands.
But you got lug nuts out of it, so.
I did. I have it right here. Woo! Which, well, now that's like a relic now because they don't even use that.
Right.
So, I'm like a historian over here. I'm basically a museum if you really look at it. Sell it. I'm gonna put it on eBay. Just triple the price. Hey, get
it came from the winning car.
Yeah, it's gonna go from $8 to $24 plus shipping. I didn't even pay for it. They just gave it out because no one wanted it. Because they're like, this is too dirty. I'm like, okay, I'll just take it. But okay, so you're probably wondering what are we doing because there is no NASCAR. So we're like, what are you guys doing? Why are you here? We just want to check in, say, hey, we're still live. We see that maybe new people are still downloading our stuff. I don't know why. Why would you listen to races that happened 8 months ago? I don't know if you just like our voices that much, but we appreciate it. Anyhow, we just want to check in, see how everyone's doing, and then bring our friend along because he doesn't really know anything about NASCAR, and we wanted maybe if he had any questions for us, or maybe if a newer person was kind of wondering how to get what to look for or how to get their foot into the door of NASCAR to maybe watch it, what would they want to know or anything like that. So this is kind of a podcast where we're hey, we're still alive, but we're also doing research or answering questions for people that might have them. So we asked Doss to make questions for us in case any even obvious questions that he has. So I'm sure he has a list. I hope he has a phone book of questions. He has 8,000 questions.
Hey, as long as it's not what is a car.
What is how make car?
Uh-oh.
No, it's I wouldn't do that.
How
I wouldn't do that.
he throws it back. All right, so Doss, do you want to start with we'll just get into it. You want to start with some questions?
Just to preface, my knowledge of NASCAR, basically the maximum extent is I know there are cars that race.
That is one.
I think Indiana is involved somehow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
There is a big famous track in Indianapolis. It's called the Brickyard.
Okay.
NASCAR races there, but it's also another, like, a lot of other kind of different series does it. So it's a pretty famous track. It's made like 1900s, but it is in Indianapolis. So
Okay.
see, you got 2 parts right. You were like already excelling. You're above the NASCAR for Dummies book already. You already know more than Brian. I was just like, he didn't even know that. I'm just kidding.
NASCAR? You want to tell me about it?
Yeah,
That's okay, Dawes. I still don't know more than that. So.
Yeah, see, same level. This is gonna be a 3-man podcast come 2022.
That's amazing.
But yeah, you want to start off with some questions or?
Yeah. So, is there like is it just like a once around, or is it like a number of laps, or is it like how does a race go? What's the scoring? Is it time? Is it against yourself? Is it against everyone else? Or are you just trying to?
Okay, we'll bring it.
I'll stop. That's a lot of questions at once.
Yeah, I'll go one by one.
They'll tie into each other.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do have a number of laps. It goes by the mileage of the track. So they will say, oh, this race is 400 miles. So they'll divide that by the amount of how long the track is. And that's how they get the number of laps. So it is a set number of laps that they complete, but there's also different scenarios where they can either go less than the full amount or more than the full amount. So in event of like weather, because they can't race in rain except for this certain type of tracks, but like normal NASCAR tracks where they're just turning left and just they can't race in the rain, so they have a set amount. If you get halfway past like the amount of laps, let's say the race is 400 laps and they're on lap 250 and then it starts raining, then they're going to say, okay, that's an official race, and this is like wherever they were scored, that's how they're going to finish. But let's say in that same scenario, there's 400 laps and it was like lap 75. They just started. They would like have the rain come down, and they have ways to dry the track. They have like these big trucks that have like super fans on them and shit like that, so they can dry the pavement because they can't drive on wet pavement. So they'll dry that off, and then if it's just, they have a certain amount of window with the TV times and shit like that. So if they can't get a race restarted and it's not past the halfway point, they'll be like, okay, we'll finish this on Monday and we'll start from lap 75, and wherever you were running, that's where you will start, and they'll restart the race. And then
this ties into your other question about, is it a race against each other? There's typically a grid of, what would you say, like 28 to 40?
With cars, like how many cars?
With cars, yeah.
In a race there is 40 cars, and it's pretty much you race with teams. Like there's teams in NASCAR. Like there's the most amount of teams you can have is 4 cars. So someone can own only like 4 cars in the race. They can't have more. They do race in teams, like. They'll help each other out and try to like help each other win or like get a better position or stuff. But it's every man. It's like weird team sports because it's like playing with a basketball team. Like you pretty much are helping everyone try to score a common goal, but then it's not like a basketball team because everyone's for themselves. So they're trying to like come together and like they do stuff together. They share data or like how their car is feeling or anything. They share it with the team, like their teammates, they're called. But their own common goal is to like win the race. So it's like a basketball team like sharing like data and stuff like that. But then when it gets to the race, then it's like pretty much every man for himself. Fuck you, I'm gonna try to beat you. So it's kind of weird in that sense that it's just like these these guys are like talking to each other and like sharing. They're like, oh, this is what I felt in my car, blah blah blah. This is what our plan is for when we're gonna do this certain strategy or anything. And they're like, okay, we'll go with you and stuff like that, and we'll help each other out. And then they'll just basically, F off and stuff like that when it gets to the end. And then, okay, so we got the teams and then that down. Did that kind of make sense? Or is it?
Yeah, I think I got a lot of that. That was
okay.
It's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic to have to the race.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, because they're there for each other to help each other out and shit like that. Like, Brian's having a bad race. This is what happened with him. We're like, we're gonna try to, help him out or something. But then when it gets like towards the end, they're kind of just like, well, fuck off, just like, oh, thanks, pal, and then just like, screw you, and just flicks them off. Like it's kind of, yeah, because it's a weird dynamic, but yeah, that's how it works. And then did you have another question about? I can't see. Was there another part to that or?
No, you answered it. It was just yeah. He was asking like, is it laps? Is it timed? Is it single car? Is it multiple?
Yeah.
And then
I'll get in more depth in that. So there's also in NASCAR we have like what's called manufactured support. So like actual car manufacturers will pay teams to NASCAR, like they'll like align with the team, and then they'll get information from that team and data, and like they could race on simulators for that team. So there's 3 manufacturers in the sport: Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. So there's the teams align with the manufacturer, and the manufacturer basically gives them like support or engines, or they're like, hey, you could use our Chevrolet simulator. So you could see, like, try different stuff for the track and, like, different adjustments and stuff like that. So there's also, if they're not teammates, like, on the certain team, then they might be teammates, like, manufactured teammates. So there might be, not the same team, but there might be a Chevy guy. It's like, all my teammates are on the back. This Chevy guy could help me if I'm a Chevy guy, or, however you want to put it. Okay.
I'm trying to think what one of my other questions was. So are there variations in the vehicles?
Yes. So NASCAR has 3 main series. There is so the top series, that's the NASCAR Cup Series. That races on Sundays. That's basically all the big guys, the big teams, where they all race. And then there's a mid-level tier. That's what we call the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's kind of more like where big teams might have a car in there, but they will have like maybe like younger drivers to try and develop them, like give them time. Like, hey, you could race this car, and then maybe in a couple years you do good in there, then you could get promoted up. And then the bottom tier, that's called the Truck Series. It's trucks instead of cars. Like they race actual like pickup trucks. I mean, it's not like an actual pickup truck off the road, but it looks like a truck.
Interesting.
Yeah. And some bigger teams might have trucks in there, but it's like smaller teams or teams of the drivers for the big teams. It is like a developmental series. Sometimes when people get into the Cup Series and then they get out, like for differing reasons, they either could go to the Truck Series and be like, hey, I still want to race, but I don't really want to race as long or whatever. They go to the developmental series. There's a lot of younger drivers there too, It's another stepping stone to try to get to the Cup Series, but it's like the minimum level. There's other ones, but it's like it's not really that official. But those are like the 3 main official things people will watch. And those, those race typically on Friday nights. So they don't race every week. They race like 20 races instead of 36 compared to like the Cup Series. So they race a lot less races, so there's a lot of more off time. The races are typically shorter as well. And then the Xfinity Series, the mid-level, those races are a little longer than the Truck Series, but a little less than the Cup Series. So it's very mid-level. They race on Saturdays. Those are like 27, 28 races. So not as much as the Cup Series guys, but more than the Truck Series. So it's a differing amount of races and lengths and bodies of cars and stuff like that.
Okay. And the vehicles themselves, are they like all the trucks? Are they all the same, or are there individual variations between each car on the track and each truck on or whatever vehicle it might be?
There are different variations. So, as I said before, the 3 manufacturers are Toyota, Ford, and Chevy. So in the Truck Series, there is a Chevy truck, a Ford truck, and a Toyota truck. So there's a different model. Like the Cup Series races cars, like stock cars. So they're like based off a Toyota Camry, Ford Mustang, and Chevy Camaro. So if you've ever seen those kinds of cars, they kind of look like it in the top series, the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series. They're the same models, but they're kind of like shorter, like they're smaller cars. They're shorter. They look different. The body is made with a different material than the Cup Series. It's a little bit different. It's kind of harder to tell the difference, but if you've seen them side by side, you would tell the difference. And then the truck it looks the most different out of all of them because they look like a truck. It has like a bed and shit like that, and so it's different variations among the models between the Xfinity and Cup cars are kind of harder to tell the difference, but you can tell the difference between a Cup car and a truck pretty obviously.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so, what seasons out of the year would this be like a summer, fall? I'd assume.
They start every year. Well, with the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, they all start in February.
Okay.
They start around, usually it's Valentine's Day and President's Day. Between those 2 weekends, they will start at a track called Daytona. There are different types of tracks on the schedule. What we have is called Super Speedways. There's 2 of those tracks. They're 2 miles in length, a big oval. They're like a D-shaped oval. And those are the types of tracks where pretty much there's no braking. You just like full on throttle just all the way around the tracks and stuff. It's kind of like what do you think like NASCAR, LOL, turn left, puts the gas on. Those are like the bigger tracks, more dangerous tracks. Faster speeds. They're running about 200 miles an hour. And those are like the super big ones. Daytona is probably the most historic track that we have on the schedule, and it's kind of our biggest race. Starts like the beginning of the year, and then they go to different types of tracks. Another track type we call is like an intermediate track. That is a track above a mile. Any track above a mile. So we would call them 1.5 milers because they're usually 1.5 miles long around in a D-shaped oval. They make a lot of the schedule, those types of tracks. A lot of them are similar in different cities and shit like that. Some of them have different variations. but a lot of the intermediate tracks are kind of the same. And then we have this thing called short tracks, which are, again, like ovals, but they're short. They're small. They're like half miles or 0.75 of a mile. They usually involve more like contact. Like the cars usually hit each other more on short tracks. It's more exciting than like the intermediate tracks where they're kind of like following each other in line. And then we have road courses. So we do turn right. A road course is like what you see on like maybe a karting track or something like that, where there's turn left and right, different turns and stuff like that. So we do have a lot of different track types. Oh, and then we do one race a year. We do race on dirt. So there will be a dirt track, and it's an oval as well, but it's dirt track instead of like typical ovals where there's concrete or asphalt. It's just dirt on top of it, and they go around.
All right, nice.
Yeah, so
they would ever make a track that's just straight, just a line.
I think
that's a different series. That's drag racing.
Yeah, let me say that's drag racing. They do make those. That's called drag racing. It's not.
Okay, but like 400 miles though.
400 miles straight. Wow.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Honestly, I think somebody should look into that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're opposed to it, knowing them.
Yeah, not like a mile track, like a long track.
400
like a full race in one line. Like, what's the shortest race?
The shortest? What is the shortest race? It would be a road course, wouldn't it, Brian?
I would believe so.
Yeah. So typically, road courses have like long laps. Usually the track with all the turns and stuff are like 3 miles or something.
Well, like the mileage.
Oh, the shortest mile?
Yeah.
So you're saying like
is it always 400 miles?
It's usually
or are there shorter? Is there like a 200 mile?
Those are more like those mileage on like intermediate tracks are more like Xfinity and Truck Series.
Okay.
They will run the shorter races. Typically, Cup races on typical intermediates or super speedways are 400, 500 miles. The short tracks as well. The only ones that are less than that, really, are the road courses. Because since their lap is so much longer than a typical oval, because typical oval, they usually run like 30-second laps. Again, different variations on the track. We would just say typical 30 seconds. In a road course, it's well past a minute. It's like a minute and a half on some racetracks with road courses. So their mileage is usually like 90 or like 100 miles because it's like 3 miles a lap. So they have a lot less laps because it takes longer to complete a lap than a typical mile, like a mile and a half oval that's 400 laps with the 30 laps per second.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting.
At first I thought you were saying like which actual track would be the shortest. But
okay, no, yeah, the shortest, like to make like a straightaway out of
Yeah. And then
100
so
track.
I'm gonna take I have
how about 100 miles and then it just has a really small turnaround, so it comes almost to a halt, and then another straight all the way back. Like,
oh my god.
Oh man.
I know.
200 one way, 200 back.
Oh my god. I know. Okay, so I know you guys didn't really watch this movie. There's a Fast and Furious movies. There's a scene in Too Fast, Too Furious where they're doing a street race, and it's like they go straight all the way down the street, and then there's a barrel, and then they turn around the barrel and go back the other way.
What? I've never seen any of those movies either, and they all sound ridiculous.
It is. Well, okay.
It sounds great.
When the older movies of Fast and Furious, they were like actual like car culture kind of movies, like they were actually like good movies, like if you're a big car nerd and stuff. But after like 4, they were just like, we're superheroes now. And then they're jumping. Vin Diesel's jumping off trucks, catching cars with his hand. He's just like, oh, get out of here. Fucking falling down like 7-story parking garages. It's just like, I'm fine.
Imagine being the actors and starting the first one thinking it's just going to be a cool car movie. Okay, yeah. And then you get like the second one and it's like, okay, cool, a sequel. Oh, 3? Wait, alright. Hey, this plot's getting a little odd. And then like 4, 5, what are they at now?
9. Well, they just finished 9. Now they're gonna have
6, and they're like, is this still a car movie?
Yeah.
And then I think they get to 9, and it's like, how did we end up in the Avengers?
I will literally tell you the plot of the first movie is them stealing VCR and DVD tapes from like this box truck. Literally, they're just like thieving.
It's like a heist movie.
Yeah, they're literally like thieving like, DVD players.
160 seconds, like with Nick Cage.
Kind of. And they're literally steering DVD fucking players, and they're like, oh, the truck drivers are getting mad now. And then the second movie, basically they're in Miami, and they work with like the feds and stuff, and they're trying to get these guys to stop dealing drugs. And then the third movie is like in Tokyo, and they don't have any of the fucking main characters in it. So we're like, the fuck is this? And then the fourth movie, they're like, we are superheroes now. It's such a weird plot line. And then the last movie, the 9th movie, is basically...
Did the Tokyo people ever come back into the story?
Oh, they did it in the 9th movie. So in the 9th movie, they make the main characters like this car rocket, and they shoot Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson in space, and then they're basically like, we're invincible. They're like, we have to kill... They're like, this car can't make it. We have to drive through the satellite to save our friends. They're not going to believe this shit, man. And they drive through the satellite.
Ludacris literally went from jumping bridges to being in outer space.
Yeah, and basically saying, we're invincible.
Are they just like, we forgot about those guys in the third movie. Do you want to bring them back?
It was
yeah. I think we should do that. Well, how are you thinking we do that? Let's make them fucking superheroes. Make them all invincible and they'll all fight each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Drugs may have been used to defend the plot.
It was so... Oh, and then also, like, the entire movie franchise, there has not been one sentence that Vin Diesel has a brother. And then the 9th movie, they're like, oh, my brother's back. And it's John Cena is his brother.
What?
Yeah, that's where the family meme came from.
I was gonna say, is that what the family comes from?
Yeah. Well, okay, so like every movie.
More important than family.
Yeah.
Here, we've defeated Ludacris.
The 9th.
No.
Oh my God.
Go have a nice Thanksgiving without you.
Dude, the 9th movie was like extremely like in this family thing, but like the last like 8 movies or so, there was like one mention of maybe family. They're like, yeah, we're family, we can beat anything. And they would have like a family like fucking dinner, and they would say grace, and that's the only mention they would have of family. Like each movie, they would like go to their house, and they're like, oh, after we just kick some ass, let's eat this nice barbecue dom. And they're like, yeah, we're family. And then the 9th movie, they're like, we're invincible because we're family. I'm like, oh my god. But it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an internet shitpost. It sounds like.
Literally, and
Yeah.
they're making the 10th. So the 10th movie is supposed to come out next year. They're making it in 2 parts.
Oh no.
They're making like a 10th and an 11th.
Yes.
So it's gonna be 10, 10 and a half, and then they're gonna start working on 11.
Fast and Furious 10, the final ride, part 1.
Oh no.
The final ride, part 2.
Fasten your seatbelt, it's really over now. Family, family, family.
Part 3, you can't kill family.
I like how this is like, we've talked more about Fast and Furious. Fucking nasty.
Has the time actually gone on longer for that?
No.
Probably.
Oh,
Honestly, no.
Okay.
like, is that long?
Yeah, well, it's been like 10 minutes on Fast and Furious.
That sounds.
That's a pretty good segment.
Reasonable amount of Fast and Furious, yeah.
Alright.
Let's have an obligatory 10-minute Fast and Furious news segment.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a separate one called the Fast and Furious Plotline fucking podcast.
Every minute was dedicated to every Fast and Furious movie that they're gonna make.
Fast and Furious Brothers. Let's go, Brian. Or that's our secondary podcast.
We're gonna have to rewatch every single movie and
I'll
cover
join
like every moment.
each podcast we add a new person.
Oh my god. It's
We'll
a
have someone else on the podcast and they'll on that podcast and then they'll join for whatever other idea we come up with. And we'll just
Yeah, it just starts off as Zach, and then I come in, and then you come in. And
don't
It's got like a 12-person podcast. We have to coordinate like all of them every week.
Oh my.
don't tempt me because I will make a single person Fast and Furious podcast because I've seen every one of those movies multiple times.
I'll make it with you. We'll do an episode of like the full minimal knowledge me and full knowledge you, and we'll have like are you allowed to stream movies like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd probably get my ass sued.
Ooh, what we could do is we could record ourselves watching it and then just tell people, watch it yourselves and hit play to watch with us. People like that shit.
Yeah, it would be... No, I'll be streaming...
It's pretty much a Twitch stream.
Yeah!
There we go. Oh my god.
Capitalism.
Alright, that was...
It's not even monetized. We're just watching promoting the Fast and the Furious for free.
I think that movie, the first one, just turned 20 years old.
I think that's right, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Wait.
They've been making this franchise for 20 years. And people still watch it. Like, I mean, I know I watch it because I'm a huge nerd.
What time of year?
Like,
is the Fast and the Furious older than 9/11?
It came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Is Fast and Furious 1 older than...
it is.
Is it old? It
premiered in the U.S. on the 18th of June, 2001.
Oh my god. Fast and Furious is older than 9/11.
Oh man, they're still making the movies, so that crew has been doing that longer than we were at war with Afghanistan.
Wow.
Or with the Taliban.
Yeah.
Or whatever's going on. I don't think.
Oh, I'd say Vin Diesel has definitely done it. Oh.
Vin Diesel.
Oh my god. Wow, I didn't...
What else does he do other than that? Is it just that and like Groot?
I was gonna say Groot.
Pacifier.
I was gonna say that too. God. There's got to be another Vin Diesel movie that we don't know.
Or like a show. He doesn't seem like a show person. Imagine a TV show with Vin Diesel as an actor.
Oh my god. I like how the second
like a Parks and Rec style show.
I like how he was in the Iron Giant.
Yeah, he was the Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was the Iron Giant. He was in it.
He was only the main character.
You don't see him, so I mean.
Yeah, he was voice. I totally forgot. I'm sorry that the movie.
They disguised it pretty good.
He was in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh my.
Strays, Multifacial, Awakenings, Boiler Room, Knockaround Guys, The Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh yeah, Riddick. Wow.
Lost Bandoleros. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. I was like really confused. So I looked up. So Lost Bandoleros is like a Fast and Furious like only one. I was really confused because it said Dominic Toretto. I'm like, did he play Dominic Toretto in another movie? What? He was.
Oh, okay.
He was also in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Oh, he was Ralph. He was in Ralph Breaks the Internet. He was in that. It's not Ralph, but
yeah, he was Baby Groot in that.
He was in Return of Xander Cage.
Return of Xander Cage.
Never seen it.
No
so.
idea what it is.
All right, did not expect to be on a Fast and Furious tangent. To be honest.
Yeah, he's the main character of that apparently.
I guess we gotta watch all of Vin Diesel's fucking movies. Vin Diesel Marathon.
Hitman.
Oh my god. Doss, do you have any questions not related to Vin Diesel?
No. Actually, this is now the Vin Diesel Podcast. They're taking over.
This is Vin Diesel Podcast. All right. Well, that was fun.
I was gonna say, do you want to know how the seasons work, or?
I was gonna say we're long past.
You think so?
I don't think we can get it back, Brian. I think we've really
I think it's too late. We went too far into Vin Diesel's acting career.
I mean, I don't care because it's off season. Like, who cares?
There's a copy pasta, which is basically something that people copy and paste into comment sections and stuff. It's an older one, and it's related to Chronicles of Riddick. Would you like to hear this shit post?
I'll probably end the podcast before that gets this shit posted.
End it while I'm reading it.
Okay.
Every morning I wake up and open palm slam a VHS into the slot. It's Chronicles of Riddick, and right then and there I start doing the moves along.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you joining us for another podcast. We did mute Doss just for that, just to end this. We'll see if he's laughing. Is he having a good time?
He was already done.
But yeah, we're gonna end it not like that. I hope you guys enjoy that little shit post. It was just an off season. We just want to say hey, talk some Dominic Toretto, and talk to Doss about some NASCAR. So maybe we'll have him back. Maybe we could answer maybe more questions he will have. Totally do that. We'll probably do another one before the season. Doss is muted. I should actually not mute him. Doss, do you have something to say?
I was going to say, I could listen to your whole back catalog and then see what I learned from this and that, and we'll see what else I've learned.
If anything comes up, too.
You wouldn't learn anything from us, just saying.
I might. We'll see.
That's what you think, but there's some things in there that we've said.
That is your homework. So we have to get... Okay, by January, we have to watch Vin Diesel's entire catalog. Start a Fast and Furious podcast, and then have Doss learn our entire catalog from front to back in a month.
Oh, man.
A month? How many? 40 episodes? I've already listened to one. This one. And what are they? I think I was looking at 45 average?
Yeah, it's typical.
Yep. I could probably do that in a week or two.
There you go.
Oh my!
I couldn't do that. I hate the sound of my own voice, so I have listened to 0 of them.
Do you edit them?
No. It's literally like, this is what I do. I listen to literally like 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, we sound good. Bam, post. I think it was one that I lost power in the middle of a podcast, so we had to do 2, and I made Brian do all the editing, and that was my delegation.
Oh my
I'm like, Brian, you figure it out.
Edit this. But there's only one edited episode?
Yeah. It was just like basically putting 2 parts together, and then Brian just saying in the middle, oh, Zach had a power outage, so that's why it's kind of like cutting. And that was about it. But Doss, thank you for joining us. That was no problem. That was very entertaining. For an off-season one, probably in season, we would not talk about Vin Diesel for 20 minutes. But hey,
I don't think so.
It's not out of our realm. You know, we've done stupid stuff before.
Oh yeah, every episode.
We talked about onions the first 2 weeks.
Oh my god, we did. I forgot about the onions. We gotta bring.
We had that 15-minute rant about, what was it, potatoes or something?
Oh my god, that was.
Company.
Hey, that's more reason for new listeners to go back and download and listen to those old episodes,
Right?
We have probably like a lot of old bits that I'm just like, why wouldn't we edit this out? But we're just gonna leave it there because.
I mean, at this point, it's part of the history.
Of course.
I mean, there could be a change of next season, but.
Yeah, me and Brian's got to talk about that, but will be a production meeting, I'm sure. But thank you guys for listening, and Doss for joining us. We're still alive. We have not been off the face of the earth. We just want to say, come say hello, talk to our friends, and our other friend, Brian.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But thank you guys for listening for another episode, and we'll probably see you in January sometime. It'll probably be a little bit more like this too as well. We'll get the Vin Diesel we'll get a Vin Diesel diagram and just say what. But
a Vin diagram, if you will.
A Vin diagram. There you go. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys soon. Peace out.
Later.